Hey there, volleyball fans. I'm Sydney Lemmerhurt, thrilled to present you with an exclusive glimpse behind the scenes featuring two remarkable athletes from the Arkansas Razorback Volleyball team. Prepare to meet Jada Lawson and Romani Thurman, both of whom consistently deliver top-notch performances whenever they grace the court. But before we dive into their stories, let's take a moment to give a shout out to our sponsor, the Everett Auto Group. They're the driving force behind Buick's See Her Greatness campaign, celebrating the achievements and empowerment of female athletes. With locations in Benton, Bryan, and Rogers, the Everett Auto Group is all about supporting women in sports, and we are so happy to have them on board. Now, let's get down to business. I'll be your host for today's discussions, bringing you the insights from Jada and Romani. Having been a former Razorback gymnast myself, I understand the grit and determination required to compete at the collegiate level. I'm eager to hear what these two phenomenal female athletes have to impart. It's time to hear their stories and discover what makes them true champions on and off the court. So, hi guys, welcome. So excited to talk to you today. Could you both give a quick introduction to yourself, name, where you're from, and then kind of how you got into your sport?
Hey guys, I'm Jada Lawson. I am going to be a senior next year, volleyball player. I'm from North Little Rock, Arkansas, and I started playing volleyball when I was around 12 years old.
Wow, okay. I feel like volleyball, they're like different variants of ages. Like I've heard like 5, and then most of you I've heard like 12, which is crazy to me. So that's so cool. What about you?
Hi guys, my name is Romani Thurman. I'm also on the volleyball team. I will be a sophomore. I was born in Little Rock, but I grew up in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and I started volleyball when I was 14, almost 15.
Yeah, so this question wasn't on there, but it should be an easy question for you. You definitely have an interesting take on this. Why did you guys pick Arkansas?
Hometown hot. But, growing up in Central Arkansas, you're always looking up to the Razorbacks, and that's all you know when you're growing up. And so to be able to come here and compete, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I would say it's a family tradition. It's all I've been around my whole life, and so just to come back home and be able to like wear the hog on my chest, on my back means the world.
Yeah. And what about the coaching staff too? I know I love Coach Watson. He's so fun to talk to.
Amazing.
Yeah, and he's just like the best guy ever. That has to make it a little bit easier for you guys.
For sure.
Can you both share a time in your career, whether it was early on or right before, recruiting and all that stuff, that you kind of realized like, man, volleyball is what I want to do in college. It's like what I want to do with my life. Is there a moment for either one of you that you can remember?
I think during COVID, when we had the complete shutdown and you weren't able to go to the gym, see your friends that you have fun with every day, that kind of lit something in me. I'm like, okay, I actually want to do this. I can't imagine my life without playing volleyball.
Yeah.
So
when you get something taken away from you, you realize like, oh, it was either not important to me at all or it was super important. So that's definitely a different take. I like that.
I would say for me, like I had a core group of friends in junior high, and they were all playing volleyball for Ozark and stuff, and they kind of pushed me to play. Like, I didn't really want to play, but I agreed to it, and once I started playing with them, I realized how much of a team sport it is, and just like at that age is when you're doing all the fun cheers and stuff, and so from then on, I was like, I want to play volleyball.
This is what I want to do. Yeah, that makes sense. So both of you, obviously being from Arkansas, you were those young Razorback fans at one point in time, but now you're the ones that they look up to. What do you want young Razorback fans now to remember about you as they aspire to be the future you?
Just that, I guess that I go hard every single time, so no matter what the situation might be, I'm going to give it my all, and I think that they should strive to give it their all.
Yeah, you guys have such a unique platform right now, and I feel like we're in such a, and we'll get into this in the next question, but you're in such a digital age that you guys can be role models in a different way. While they're on their screens, obviously, but you might want to make them active. You want to make them enjoy sport and not just on their phones and everything else. Yeah.
For me, I would say just having that grit and determination. I feel like it's so important to just always play through everything, and play for yourself, play for your family, play for whoever you want to play for. Honestly, I feel like that's really important, and that is a lot of why people play sports. And I feel like as a female, it's so important to promote each other too, just because like obviously we don't have like as big of a platform as like the male side does. So
yeah, that's a perfect segue into the next question. And I kind of mentioned it, you guys have such a big platform right now, but women's sports has such a big platform. You know, that everyone watches women's sports movement going on right now. But there's also some, you know, negativity that comes along with that. How do you guys think social media can be used to promote female sports in a positive way?
I feel like just uplifting one another. I feel like this day and age, like a lot of us can get caught up in like comparing ourselves to other like athletes, especially like female athletes, and accolades and whatever they're getting. And I feel like it's so important to like promote one another while also like promoting yourself. Because like it's a sisterhood. Like we all like have to be able to support each other, and like because we can't grow without like supporting one another.
Right.
So
yeah, and you go through so many life things together, and it's not just, you know, it is competition, but you're like, we all go through the same grind. Like we just need to lift each other up. It's the only way we're going to be more visible.
Piggyback off of that, I mean, with the movement, everybody watches women's sports now, starting because of like collegiate basketball. I think that kind of just proves to people that this is as competitive or even more competitive than male sports. So you can see that grit and that determination.
And it's been fun to see your guys' sport too. I mean, Nebraska volleyball, they like sold out their football stadium. That was like the cool, I like can't even imagine. I was emotional watching that. Like that's insane. So this leads on to, what advice would you give to females that might be, you know, in a sport like volleyball or, you know, gymnastics, lesser known watched sports, advice to them where, you know, they're discouraged that they're not getting maybe the time on TV that other sports are getting?
I would just say kind of give yourself some grace, you know. I mean, it's not going to come all at one instant, so you have to like work towards it. I mean, just like anything, like good grades, or if you want to, you know, whatever you want to do, you have to work towards getting to that goal. So I would just say give yourself some grace, be patient, you know, your time is coming.
Yeah, and you've been here in 4 years of Arkansas volleyball really changing. You know, your freshman year, it was like, okay, we're starting to build, and then by this past year, you guys were selling out Barnhill and like making it to the tournament. Like you've seen firsthand what that change can do. So that's so fun.
Yeah, I totally agree. I also feel like just like not listening to the outside noise, like because that can really like mess you up a little bit. Just like listening to like what other people are saying, what you should be doing, what they think you should be doing, and stuff like that. So I feel like just like focusing on yourself and like putting yourself first, and just like having that drive to keep going.
Yeah, because they put female athletes in this little box. They expect you, for your guys' sport, you need to look a certain way. Gymnastics, like we very had to look like a ballerina, and half of us aren't built like that anymore. So yeah, you have to just give yourself some grace, and you know, just keep pushing on, because people are gonna watch. They're gonna learn, and they're gonna watch. Okay, some fun questions now, a little bit more lighthearted questions. So are either one of you superstitious?
I don't think I am.
No? No, not at all. Volleyball, I feel like I tend to see like some crazy routine before you have to serve, or like spin the ball around. Nothing like that.
I mean, that I don't like. That's more of like a free throw routine.
There you go.
Just to stay in your rhythm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything that you can share about like specific strategies that you might use during a game, whether it's, you know, that specific serving thing, or like words you say after maybe a tough set, or anything like that?
I mean, our coach, he preaches to stay present. So just trying to keep yourself present and in the moment, not worrying about whatever error or however the last set went. Just staying present in that moment and knowing that your team and you guys can deliver.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice to listen to. Yeah.
I would say like in our sport specifically, just like always moving on, like moving on to the next point. Like I always tell myself like next ball. Like because if you get stuck on like all the ball before that, like it could go downhill.
Yeah, because then you're not paying attention to what's happening in the now.
Right.
So, so who was your first female athlete that you looked up to? Doesn't have to be volleyball necessarily, but if it is, just go ahead and talk about her.
Mine were definitely Serena and Venus.
Yes.
I mean,
that's a good answer. You're the first one to say that, and it shocked me because I've waited for that answer.
Them performing on that global stage and dominating every single year after year, it was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And just being a kid and being able to see people, women specifically, be able to perform and, you know, have the high accolades that they do, it was very encouraging.
Yeah. Did you watch their movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's so good. You have to watch it. It's really, really good. Yeah.
I would say Allison Felix is mine.
That's a good one too.
I grew up running track my whole life, from like when I was this big to like high school, and like women empowerment is like what she supports, especially like she had a kid when she was while she was running and stuff like that. And so I feel like just watching her growing up, and like she is a powerhouse. She is track and field, honestly. And so like I feel like that always gave me the drive to like want to be her in my own sport, even if it wasn't track.
I wasn't like the biggest watch track, but I watched the Olympics with my sport being such an Olympic sport, and she definitely was one. She was here recently for a track thing, and I like freaked out about it. I'm like, I didn't run track, but I thought she was like the coolest person ever. Final question. So you kind of touched on it a little bit, but obviously there's always going to be some haters out there that might not like women's sports or don't like how you're doing something. What would you say to those haters to advocate for women's sports?
I mean, we have a passion just like male sports, and I feel like we deserve to have a platform just like male sports. So I would just say try it out. Like, you would be shocked by how many people are impressed or like surprised that women's sports is as competitive as it is. But I would just say just try it out.
I like that.
I agree. I would say like it's way more exciting than like many people think. Just like going from like the whole Caitlin Clark situation, a lot of people didn't watch like women's basketball, and it's just like there are so many powerhouses like that in every sport. And so it's so important to like open up your eyes to see that and not just be stuck in this box of like male sports is where it is. Like, that is not true.
You go through a day in our life, and then maybe you will reconsider your opinion on that stuff. Well, awesome. Thank you both so much. That is a wrap for today's episode. I want to extend a massive thank you to our phenomenal female athletes who joined us today. Your stories are the heart and soul of our podcast, and your greatness shines through in every word. I also want to express my gratitude to the Everett Auto Group for continuing to promote the See Her Greatness campaign. With locations in Benton, Bryan, and Rogers, they're not just in the business of selling cars, they're champions of celebrating female excellence in sports. To my listeners, I can't thank you enough for tuning in and being a part of this empowering journey. Remember, you can catch up on all of our episodes and stay connected with the latest from Everett's See Her Greatness campaign by following us on social media. Until next time, keep believing in your greatness, keep striving for your dreams, and keep celebrating the incredible achievement of women in sports. This is Sydney Lemmerhurt signing off.